A cool breeze swept through the neighborhood, rustling the red and yellow fall leaves on the trees. They began to fall gently onto all the lawns. 10-year-old Michael came outside and grabbed the rake. It was his job this year to rake the leaves. Pulling the rake one way and then the other, Michael moved the dry leaves into piles. Soon, though, he got tired. "I'll just have a rest," he thought. And then, after a while, he got up and tried again. But soon he got tired again. "I don't like working," Michael groaned. He tossed the rake aside and went back into the house. "What's going on?" asked his mum. "I thought you were going to rake the front lawn." "Work is too hard," said Michael glumly. "I don't want to do it." Mum grinned. "Well, if only Dad and I could get away with that attitude." Slumping down on a chair at the kitchen table, Michael sighed. "Sorry, Mum. I thought I'd be able to get the hang of it." Mum frowned, wishing she knew exactly what to say. Meanwhile, across town at UltraKids headquarters, Penelope was cleaning out her closet in her room. Everything was a huge mess. Jumpers here, t-shirts there, and trousers all over the place. Malachi came in, munching on some fish and chips. "What's going on?" Penelope slumped back on a pile of socks. "Oh, it's hopeless." "What?" Malachi said, putting his food down on the table and crossing the room. "It looks like a clothes storm to me. What a mess." "What am I going to do?" Penelope said. "Well, I was always taught to work hard and smart." Malachi smiled. "Work doesn't have to be bad at all if you just give some thought to the work at hand." Malachi began to sort through the clothes. "Look, why don't you just start putting things into piles? Jumpers here, socks there, and so on. After you've done with that, you can sort them even further into colours. Red jumpers, blue jumpers, green jumpers. See?" Penelope grinned. "You're pretty good at this. Want to finish while I finish your chips?" Malachi frowned. "Hey now." Before Penelope could take another bite of Malachi's chips, the ultra alarm went off. "Uh-oh," said Malachi. "Let's go." The two Ultra Kids donned their caps and masks and slipped into their boots, and rushing to their ship, Penelope said, "Looks like someone else is having trouble with their work." Soon the Ultra Kids were zipping through the pale blue autumn sky. Landing in Michael's yard, Malachi dashed out. He assessed the situation, seeing the few scattered piles of leaves and the rake nearby. "I think I see the problem," he said. "Now let's find Michael." Penelope knocked on the door. Michael's mum answered. "UltraKids?" she said. "Good thing you're here. Can you speak to my son Michael? I think he'd benefit from your experience and knowledge." "Sure thing, ma'am," said Penelope. Michael came out with a frown. He looked at the leaves, the piles and the rake. "It's just too hard." Balancing the rake in one hand, Malachi crossed the lawn. "Look, Michael, you don't have to worry about working if you work smart." "But how?" asked Michael. "Take a look." Malachi began to rake, but he began from one end of the lawn and went right down in a straight line. He then went back up, beginning another line. Line by line, Michael. Soon Malachi had raked 6 lines of leaves. He then handed the rake to Penelope. "Show him the rest, partner." "Malachi taught me that any job can be done the right way if you just use your brain," Penelope said, then began to rake down the lines, moving the leaves into piles. Line by line she went until there were 6 piles. "See?" Penelope handed the rake to Michael. "Now it's your turn." Michael thought about it for a moment. "I've got it!" He then grabbed a plastic bag and opened it, and used a rake to pick up the leaves instead of his hands. Work hard and smart. This way I can pick up more leaves than if I used my hands alone. Malachi and Penelope laughed. "That is pretty smart, Michael." Malachi and Penelope got back into their ship. "Work hard, Michael." Michael waved. "And smart." Back at UltraKids Club headquarters, Penelope finished cleaning her closet. She put all of her clothes into nice, neat piles. Everything was organised by the type of clothes, colour and even size. She then put them back on their shelves, onto hangers and into plastic boxes. "Phew," she said. "Done." Not bad, Malachi. Malachi patted his partner on the shoulder. You worked pretty hard there, Penelope. Sure did, she said brightly, but I worked smart, thanks to you, and saved myself time and effort in doing so. Malachi nodded. When you work hard and smart, you're making the job more fun, and you're doing a better job than you would if you hadn't put thought into it. Imagine, you'd be here all week otherwise. Penelope nodded. Now, about those fish and chips. Hey, said Malachi, those are mine. Penelope laughed. Malachi, let's talk about sharing now. Malachi grinned, handing his partner his plate of fish and chips. For a job well done.